we're looking at we're looking at Google Drive alternatives now. Google Drive, no, we're not talking about the Waymo car. We're talking about data storage. And so we're going to have a look at the Google Drive alternatives here. So they list Tresorit, not heard of that one. There's OwnCloud, Nextcloud, SyncThing, of course Dropbox, but there's some leeriness on that one as well. But
How about Mega?
What are your thoughts? Yeah,
Mega is good.
Yeah, Mega not listed on the list here. Any other comments on these particular ones?
I'm a cranky old man. I don't use any of them.
All right.
Nextcloud's the best. I would say Nextcloud's the best if you want to install your own server.
Yep.
Also, MailCow has a built-in Nextcloud installer. I have Nextcloud
really?
running on my MailCow instance.
Nice. Yeah, so I run Nextcloud. So my Nextcloud replaces Google Docs. It replaces Google Drive. It replaces all my contacts, all my calendars. All of that stuff is all on an encrypted Nextcloud on my own individual server.
I only use Nextcloud for file sharing, like if I have to share a file or if I want to access a file between my different devices, and passwords. That's the main one. I use the Nextcloud password manager. It's great. It's a great alternative to any of those cloud ones like LastPass that have been hacked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lots of options in Nextcloud. Like Nextcloud, I think does about everything. It will, by the way, do conferencing, video conferencing. The problem is it hangs up. The Nextcloud Talk application hangs up if you have multiple cameras on your computer. That's why we still use this instead of that for now. But
I haven't used Calendar and Contacts because my contacts are in Sogo. And my calendar is my family's calendar in iCloud, so I haven't used that either. So I just use it for documenting, file sharing, and passwords.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Other comments on Google Drive alternatives?
Well, the SpiderOak is missing here, and out of this category, I'll say that SpiderOak was the first one to do the end-to-end encryption.
Yep.
And Tresorit is actually like 2 or 3 years ago, the only commercial message that they were pushing to people is like, we are the SpiderOak, but we're in Switzerland.
Yeah. Okay. So back to that. Where's your jurisdiction at?
That's right. That's again where is your jurisdiction, and it actually Mega came after the SpiderOak, so I'm surprised.
Now, SpiderOak is, as I understood, was one of the better ones. But did they not have a snafu recently? What was up with SpiderOak recently? I thought there was something about them, but I can't remember for sure.
You see, all I know is that with our work, we're constantly thinking about how we can minimize the metadata, so that nobody knows who I share my files with, or that people don't the server doesn't know who I talk with. So, for example, if I have a server at home, if somebody hacks it, how much information can they get? So like, the same thing. So basically OwnCloud and Nextcloud is sort of infrastructure like regular Google, but then you have to protect it like the Google has to do it, right? Yep. Unless you add this end-to-end encryption thing, which SpiderOak sort of, they were sort of the first really pushing it out. But
Yep. And Sync, I've not seen Sync before. That's in Canada, right? So any comment on Sync?
Well, they are like Tresorit and like the SpiderOak.
Okay. All right.
So the only beef which I have with all these guys is like with your message, like unlike email, where all of us have emails from different providers, we can use any client and we can read each other emails. Now, if I have my own cloud and I share files with you, like it will be either through the browser, which is not secure because there can be a loss of keys for end-to-end encryption, or you will probably have to install some, for example, like for Sync or Tresorit or SpiderOak, you will have to install another app for that company. And you cannot be on Tresorit and I'm on SpiderOak, and we can't share the files using our own clients. So That's my beef. There's no freedom. Like these are all isolated islands.
Now, of course, if you're just talking about sharing a single file with a single person, do you like Onion Share for that?
Actually, yeah, somebody shows Onion Share. Cool, really cool stuff.
Yeah. So if you just need to just take a file and send it to a person, Onion Share.
Onion Share.
These class systems here, allow you to store the files and then share them or not revoke the sharing accordingly. So let's move on, since that was not too long, into Google Calendar alternatives. This is the one where it can be a little bit more difficult to set some of these up. Some of them work better, some of them don't. Again, Nextcloud for me, perfect calendar integration, particularly if you're using, so Dan uses this amazing calendar. That is an awesome calendar. It's called Paper. Which, hey, I gotta say, for a web techie guy, I use a lot of paper myself. But
I have a paper calendar. I have a calendar up on the wall too, but I never write anything on it.
Yeah,
I write everything on it.
Yeah. So, of course, if you're using Linux Mint, GNOME, Budgie, Cinnamon, Budgie, GNOME, even Plasma has some of this, where you can just, on the operating system level, connect it to your Nextcloud calendar, for example, and it's completely perfectly syncs across everything. Absolutely amazing. Other ones, they have Lightning Calendar, Etar, Froox, MailFence, Collab Now, plus those running a combined email and calendar function. MailFence, Collab Now, Postio.de, Mailbox.org will all offer those.
And once again, MailCal has both calendar, contacts, and email. It's a whole groupware server.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And like I said, with Exchange, you sign in on your phone. It uses Exchange Active Sync. Your contacts, your calendar, and your emails all automatically start syncing. You don't have to configure each one manually. That's why I like it.
Nice. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. Go ahead. Any other comments on calendars or Drive for that matter?